On Tuesday, May 24th, 2022, one of the deadliest shootings that the United States has ever seen happened at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. Being this our backyard, we decided to go over there and give our voice and honor the kids' memories. Fast forward 10 days to June 4th, 2022. We're here in San Antonio, Texas at the Paper Tiger. Beto O'Rourke, candidate for governor, holds a rally to talk about gun reform and how we Texans can make a difference. Here we interview several Texans who give us their firsthand experience and their opinions on how we can make a difference and stop the next school shooting.
And what I want to do today is I want to show what actual Texas thinks about it, because people from all over every country, every state, California and all of them, they think that we're all super guns and all we want is to have the ownership. But I think a lot of us have a different opinion.
Yep.
So my one question is, what are your thoughts on gun control?
Stricter laws. We need to ban assault weapons. What is the purpose of having somebody? They say this is for hunting, right? If you need more than 2 bullets to kill a deer or a hog, you're not a good hunter.
Right.
You should probably get rid of your guns. So, I think we don't need those types of weapons on the streets. There's a lot that needs to be done. Licensing by the ATF. If you want to purchase an AR-15, then you have to be licensed by the ATF. Have that.
What is the ATF?
The alcohol, tobacco, and firearms.
Okay.
Yeah.
I definitely think there should be more regulations. I don't think people should just be able to go buy a gun if they're going to buy a Nintendo Switch at Best Buy, bro. It shouldn't even be like that,
No, not at all. And, just like this, the guy after his 18th birthday, 2 days after his 18th birthday, goes and buys an AR-15 and it doesn't raise any kind of suspicion to anybody.
Yeah, that's true. Wouldn't the guy who's selling the guns be hey, you're a kid. Where are your parents?
Yeah.
And then buying 2 big guns, not even a pistol to go shoot at the range, assault rifle. I don't even know what he got, but I know it's he should.
Yeah, he bought an AR-15. It's that Daniel Defense AR-15 2 days after his 18th birthday, and then he went and bought another one 3 or 4 days after that. So yeah, absolutely ridiculous. He couldn't go buy a beer, but he could go buy those.
Right. And to think that there's a company out there that's making gun products, that's selling it to the American people, and they're seeing that they're killing people, and they're not changing the product.
And they're marketing.
Do that.
They're marketing to kids. You can look at their tweet early in May. They have a little toddler there holding this gun, talking about you start them off early. They're that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're gonna get sued, and I hope they go out of business.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope they get those products out of the American hands, because who does that,
Yeah.
So
we don't need them.
Have you ever met Beto before?
Yeah, I've actually met him a couple times. I was actually the Democratic chairman for B County at one point. And prior to that, he came through for his Senate campaign, and I met him then, had a good conversation with him. And then, funny story, during his when he was running for Senate. When he was running for president in 2020, I was walking down the street in Austin, and I was wearing my El Paso Strong shirt, and he drove by and he yelled at me, "Hey, are you from El Paso?" I was like, "No," but so it was a cool interaction. But yeah, I met him a couple times. Really nice guy. I voted for him in everything that he's run for.
Right.
Awesome. That's how much I believe in him.
Hey, well, thank you so much for your time, man.
No problem.
Have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
What we keep seeing on the news, it's really making me realize that we need a change.
Yes.
It cannot be this easy to go buy a gun.
Let me give you an example. I had 3 7-Elevens. A kid comes in, you have to check ID for cigarettes even. Right?
Right.
Vapes.
Right. Vapes, tobacco,
Cigarettes,
you need
tobacco, alcohol, 21.
IDs, yeah.
Why is guy 16, 17 years old can go buy a gun? Why?
Makes no sense.
No sense.
Why would you sell them the gun?
I don't know why they
Right.
sell them. Does not make sense. The kids are overturned. Then they come with the police officers undercover police officers come to the stores to check that we as a retailers comply with them. That we check their ID for alcohol, for beer, for electronic cigarettes. So why you cannot check the background for
Right.
guns?
All these other things you need to check a background. There needs to be restrictions,
Yes.
but for guns, so you can just go and buy it.
Yes, I want to add one more thing.
Yes, sir.
I read an article after this Uvalde thing
Okay.
about guns in Switzerland.
Okay.
1/3 of their population owns guns. You know, their idea was developed a long time ago to defend themselves, like our country here, America.
Right.
But there are strict
very strict
background checks. And you have to have safety courses done. And if anybody can, they can Google guns in Switzerland. So if a small country
can do it right.
Do it. Why we superpower on this earth can do it? Cannot do it. Doesn't make no sense. All these assault rifles, AK-47s, AR-16, 15, whatever they are, they should be banned.
Right.
And the other gun should be background check.
Right.
I have a license
You
to carry.
carry a gun sometimes.
I have a license to carry. It's good for your self-defense, but not without background check.
Do you use it when you're at 7-Elevens?
No, I carry it with me.
Okay, all the time.
Not all the time.
Not right
Today
now.
I don't have any. Today I don't have any.
Okay.
But hey, background check.
Right.
Right?
Hey, thank you so much for your time. You know, we really want to get people's real opinion. We want to be able to talk to the camera and go talk to the rest of the world. Thank you for being able to open up.
No
like that.
problem. But hey, superpower on this earth cannot save their children. Shame on us.
Right. Thank you so much.
Okay.
You know, I've never done anything political, but I felt like there's a need to voice people's opinions out there, and I think it's in time of change. I personally think guns should have more restrictions. I don't think it should be that easy to just go buy a gun. It's not a Nintendo Switch, like it's not Best Buy. And I just want to ask you, what are your thoughts on gun control?
I think we definitely need some type of gun reform. We need some universal background checks, some other legislation around who can have it, some mental checks. There are some people that shouldn't own guns. They're just not properly equipped. You need some training around guns because I was in the Marine Corps. I know what it is to handle a weapon. You have a lot of misfires even in the Marine Corps from people just marching and whatnot. So for very people that aren't used to handling the guns will have those type of accidents. So I think training is a real big part of it, registering the firearms and making sure that they know how to properly store them.
I mean, the line's moving up, sir, but I personally, I want to thank you for sharing your opinion out there, and especially being a Marine, out there, you have experience with guns, and you understand that there needs to be more restrictions.
Absolutely.
Wait, is there any specification on the restrictions that we need to have, or that you think any ideas?
Universal background checks and then mental health checks, because there's some veterans that shouldn't properly own a weapon. My father being one of them. He's passed away now, but he was not in the right mind to own a weapon, although he could have gone and purchased one.
That's a really smart take from a veteran perspective, because isn't the stat 22 a day commit suicide, right? And you saying that even some veterans should not have guns, it makes sense. It opens it to that dialogue.
Absolutely.
People don't think about that. They think
absolutely.
veterans they can just have guns because you're already used to it. But that shows that there needs to be stages in life and mental health checks throughout the life.
Exactly, for sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, man.
All right, thank you
for your time.
All right, yeah.
We're here just asking people a simple question. What are their thoughts on gun control? We want to know the actual perspective of the Texans. And this guy, actually, we know each other, and he had his glasses on, and I was like, I don't know who this guy is, but let me ask him, an interview, and he's like, dude, I know you. And it's how do we know each other?
So you were at my OL at UTSA.
That's crazy.
That was when we were doing orientation, in June 2015.
Whoa.
So that's where, I remember you. You and Izzy.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Damn, he does know me, bro.
Your name starts with an S. I think it was Sebastian.
No, my name's Eric, but I don't know. There's Sebastian. What is your name?
Daniel.
Daniel, nice to meet you, dude. And so, this is the second time we meet in life. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the first time I ever come to a political event. First time, I see Beto, in person. Never seen him. And, I just personally think there should be more gun restrictions. I feel like it shouldn't be easy to just go buy an AR-15 or an assault rifle. I feel like there needs to be endorsements. People have to sign off on it. I don't think you can just go buy it a Nintendo Switch at Best Buy.
For sure,
You know, feel me? So I just want to ask the people's perspective, and what are your thoughts on gun control?
So my opinion comes from what's another way that we can solve this? Suppose that we have no way of ever controlling guns. What's actually going on besides that's making people do violence? A lot of that, what happens sometimes is online, right? So, what are things that we don't have to ask the government for? One of that is being able to regulate online activity somehow. So I don't know. Back in 2016, we saw this with the election, right? With the election of Donald Trump, there was a lot of misinformation going on, right? So part of that was this cyber attack that was happening from foreign governments, right? And it only benefits a foreign government for the United States to become destabilized. That's fine. You know, any country that's destabilizing, you know, works to some of those foreign governments' benefits. Now, how is it that they're able to access, this is what I think is going on, how is it that they're able to access, you know, either young kids to, you know, cause them to commit violence? You know, why is this becoming a recurring problem, right? So the acquiring a weapon, that's fine. You know, that's hard. It should be hard to do, right? I think that's a rational thing to do. Make it difficult to acquire any weapon, not take away the right, but just make it harder.
So you're saying like put restrictions on it, but not ban them in total, but just put restrictions.
Absolutely.
But then also it's like a mental issue. Like why are people so young at 18 wanting to kill innocent children?
Right. So I mean, it's not just about, you know, people. I feel like whenever a violent thing happens, we're all capable of that level of violence, and we don't really value that perspective. We just think of one person being evil, but really, like, we're all kind of complicit in that action.
It's like a whole societal thing.
Exactly. It's not an individual approach to be solved on the individual level, and that's where gun control comes in, right? That's where, you know, society decides, let's do something about this, but it's also about making sure that we hold all of us accountable. You know, not just an individual making individual choices to buy a gun. It's about being able to recognize, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with this? You know, and being at the point of purchase.
Right.
What
like that
are
kid.
you doing? Yeah.
He bought it, and did anyone ask, like, where are your parents? Like, who are you? Like, you're so young.
Exactly. Yeah.
Makes no sense.
So, like, sure, you could pass a background check, and, you know, you can be clean your whole life, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to commit a violent act. Right. So I remember recently at the San Antonio Book Festival, Will Hurd spoke about his book and stuff. He went off about like immigration and stuff, but eventually it got to regulating, you know, guns in general. And he made this point that, you know, it's not going to do anything. And it's like, are you kidding me? Like, of course it would.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was really surprising to hear that Will Hurd say those things. It's like, does no one talk about this stuff at the?
Who is that?
Will Hurd. Oh, he was I think it was Texas 28.
Okay.
So it's a district for the federal government that spans from some part of San Antonio all the way to El Paso.
And he's Republican or Democratic?
He's a Republican, and it's really funny because he's a black Republican. So even he acknowledges that. It's like, yeah, this is not normal.
I guess.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, that's what he believes and all this stuff. He has his opinions, and they're valid. Right. But for him to be saying those things, it was just weird.
Hey, man, well, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for being here and showing support. And thank you a lot for speaking your mind in front of the camera. I think that's very important in this day and age. People need to show their face and say what they actually think. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. So what is your name?
Dahlia.
Dahlia. And what are your thoughts on gun control? We're basically doing this question because we want to get Texas, like, actual perspective, like not the media, not like other YouTubers, not Californians, not like, you know, other states, like what actually people in Texas think. And I personally think there should be more restrictions on gun control. So I just want to know, what are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, I definitely agree. There should be more restrictions on gun control so that way we don't have, you know, mass shootings. It's definitely something that needs to be done, especially in Texas. You know, it's also part of the culture where a lot of Texans, they're like, oh, we want our guns. So there's something to be said about how do we change the cultural
perception of
it. Yeah, like let's.
You think some guns should be allowed, or like just like all of them should be like outlawed?
I think we need more restrictions.
More
first
restrictions.
Of all, yeah. And
okay, maybe like some background checks and like checking people's like. I don't know. I think like I don't know what country does it, but like over there, like in Europe, they have a checking system where like if you want to own guns, you gotta have 3 endorsements. So that could be like your parent, that could be like your best friends, but people that like are actual people that are proving like, hey, this guy's like can have a gun. I don't understand why a company will create a product that they sell to their own people that they see are using it to kill like kids.
Yeah.
And like this isn't the first one. Like it's been happening like all of our lives. Like
yeah.
like before we were born. Like I was born in '95. Columbine happened like a couple years before that. So it's like we literally been like a generation of just like gun violence.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's like when I was in high school, we were having the same conversations. We're having the same conversations now, and not much is happening. And it's just like the United States is known for like these school shootings, these mass shootings, and I mean obviously we do need more restrictions, especially not allowing certain types of guns, allowing only people with background checks to have guns, and then just somehow changing the cultural
narrative perspective on it.
Yeah.
I guess like another question I have for you is like you work here at the Paper Tiger, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So for people that don't know, the Paper Tiger used to be the White Rabbit, right? Do you remember that? And like bands come here and play. I think I saw Tyler Creator here when he came for the first time. Like it's just like a place where people like a venue, right?
Yeah.
And how long have you worked here for?
About 1 year.
Okay, 1 year. So you're at the St. Mary Strip, which is a famous street here in San Antonio. There's a lot of bars. And you work in like the nightlife. Like, what do you think? Like, do you want someone to have like security have guns, or do you feel like do you ever feel a threat that someone might come in and like do something because you're like nightlife?
Well, yeah, it is a little bit. I mean, it is nightlife. We mostly just want people to have fun and enjoy themselves and feel like they're safe. So, I mean, personally, I would not want guns here. We do, pat downs, all that.
Have you ever seen like someone like come in with a gun or anything, like just like walking out like a person just chilling with it?
Not personally, but yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm not security. I just do door and bartending.
You're like, stop asking questions.
Although everyone here interviewed today was from a different cultural background and a different age group, every single person had the same overarching theme that gun reformity is needed, whether it's mental health checks or checks of well-being. Something has to be done.